don't need to be a D1 athlete again, but I want to be able to do fun stuff like that. Without the thought of I'm going to get hurt. It'll also make me better on stage for sure. I'd be able to move around better.
I'm ashamed to say my worst injury this past year was pickleball.
Oh,
I hurt my
that's
wrist
not
at
even moving that fast.
like, come on, what are we doing?
Level up. Hey, level up. Yeah, cause I'm getting louder. Hey, level up.
Hey guys, welcome to the Turf. We have Chase Rice here, country music star. Star. And we also was on Survivor.
Yeah.
And most importantly, former football player, UNC Tar Heels. Excited to have him here on the podcast. Man, welcome.
Thanks, buddy. And a big fan of you. I grew up on you.
Oh,
and I'm like watching that 98 Tennessee team. I'm like, Bartholomew, 45. He's the man.
Let's go back to those days. Let's go high school.
Okay.
Think back to your high school days.
I looked about like I do now.
Highly recruited, right?
I was a 3, some things had me 4-star guy. That one of the things I think had me ranked as one of the top linebacker in Carolina, which is cool.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling. I got offered by Duke first. My brother went to Duke. He played football there.
Yeah.
And they won like 3 games when he was there. That was back before Duke. Like,
that's pre-Cutcliffe.
Yeah. Cutcliffe really made him, relevant. But I looked about exactly like I do right now. I'm like 195 right now. And I was a 195-pound linebacker. A lot of schools, Virginia, they pulled out at the last minute just because I wasn't big. I was fast. I was running like 4.4. But I was not big enough for a lot of schools. Tennessee pulled out.
No, they didn't.
They loved
Tennessee,
it. They loved
Vols.
me. And then all of a sudden, Chavis. Who's the coordinator?
Yeah, John Chavis.
John Chavis.
Yeah.
He pulled out.
Chief. They called him Chief.
Chief?
Yeah.
Well, he was there. Was he 98? Was he there?
He was there in 98.
I refer to
several years
98
after.
because that was a title year. But, there was a lot of schools that I was right on the cusp of like just a little too small for him.
Huh. So why'd you go to UNC?
I remember.
Or how many colleges actually, what it come down to?
It came down to Duke wasn't going to happen because my brother's experience there was so bad. His college experience is probably good. He loves Duke. Like, he loved it, but they just didn't win any games.
Right.
Virginia pulled out last minute. So NC State, Virginia Tech, Florida State. Florida had Ron Zook at the time, which is where I really, really wanted to go because I grew up a Gator.
Yeah.
But Zook and it never became a thing. Like, I never even took a visit. I wasn't recruited by Florida. Florida State was high up there. And then who was the last one? Wake Forest.
Wake Forest.
And I almost went on a visit to Wake Forest. I remember thinking like NC State's like they had Rivers, so that team was like
they were good.
They were solid. So that made me really want to go to NC State. Virginia Tech, that was off the Michael Vick years.
Yeah.
Florida State was they weren't great.
So why'd you pick UNC?
Chris Ricks. So I did all that saying like I just loved these other schools in Carolina. I was just like, it was just not the program that was screaming football.
Right.
And then I went there and I was like, God, this is sick. And it wasn't really just the facilities. It wasn't like they were winning a bunch of games.
Right.
We had an unbelievable
They didn't have Belichick.
Group of guys. Belichick's just bringing a whole different vibe to the thing, good or bad. We don't know yet. Everybody's so hard on him. I went there, but it wasn't just about like, UNC football. It was more the class of guys that was coming out of the state of Carolina that year. I played with a lot of them in the Shrine Bowl. And we were all in the same visit together.
Like Julius Peppers? Or
no, it's Post Peppers.
Post Peppers.
Like Jamal Edwards was the number 1 running back in the state, number 2 in the country. He ended up going to Florida State. He was committed to Florida State. Tremaine Goddard ended up coming with me to Carolina. But we just had like 10 guys that were all in the Shrine Bowl together that were also on my official visit. And just the vibes were just high as they could be. Because we all had a Shrine Bowl team. We're all seeing each other again. Jamal Edwards is in the he never panned out at Florida State, I don't think, but he was in the bus where they're cruising us around to like Franklin Street doing all the things. And he's just sitting there staring at the ground. You could tell he's just wheeling like, should I go to Florida State or should I come here? So it was just a really, really good group of guys that really made me fall in love with Carolina. And it was like a perfect like winter night where It's just, they did a good job recruiting. They did a really good job recruiting.
Back in high school, like what were your go-to training regimen or exercises? Is there something out there that you love?
So we were big on, we had a much smaller place than this, probably the size of like 3 of those racks. But our AC Reynolds High School, Coach Poss, we won 2 state championships under him. And he was huge on power cleans.
Let's go.
Massive on, even with squats, bench, and all that, but power cleans were his biggest thing, which is why when I got to Carolina, like I was one of the better clean guys on the team. And because that's a huge technique thing too. So we trained hard, which is what got me to college, because I wasn't the biggest guy. I wasn't the strongest or the fastest, but I knew how to work hard from high school. Like we really busted, but power cleans was our main lift that we'd really focus on.
So you go to UNC, you're 195.
Yeah, little guy.
You're a little guy. Fast though.
Fast.
Scrappy.
Yeah.
And then you get there. What was your first experience? You know, you're sitting in a D1 college weight room right now.
Very similar to this.
The first experience when you got to UNC, like who was your strength coach? What, you know, when you got into it, what was that environment like?
Jeff Connors was the strength coach.
Oh, yeah.
He got inducted into the college strength coach Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Jeff Connors absolutely hated me. He's like, this kid, I got to deal with this 190. Like, I'm eating rice while we're working out, drinking whey protein just like crazy. I could not put on weight. And on top of that, I wasn't really giving my all. I felt like I knew I was already in a redshirt. I was homesick. Yeah. I was real homesick not because I wanted to be home, because I had a girlfriend at home.
It's always a girlfriend, man.
Dude, I tell kids now, like, dude, just go to college. The girlfriend, if that works out, it works out. The problem is no high schooler is going to listen. Like, I was so in love with this girl that I couldn't focus on football. I had a horrible freshman year. It wasn't till the end of my freshman year, going into my sophomore year, that I was finally like, okay, I'm in college now. Like, I almost went home. I almost dropped out.
I mean, I think, you know, it's funny you talk about that, because as you know, my son is at Vanderbilt right now, and, you know, he did his freshman year. He's in his sophomore year now. Kind of the light bulb didn't go off to kind of the end of his freshman year.
Same, yeah.
You know, when you're like, I think about people listening to this podcast, you got you know, kids, a freshman out there, they're like struggling a little bit. It's like, what helped kind of flip the switch?
I don't really know. I think I just got used to it. You know, I just finally was just like, I'm staying. Like, I'm not going to drop out. My dad said, all right, you can drop out, but you're going to come work for me. And the dumbest part looking back is, like, she was debating between App State because she was a year younger than me, App State and NC State. It's like, oh man, if she goes to NC State, she's still 30 minutes away. 30 minutes away, and I'm freaking out in my head. Like, how do we keep this going? I miss her so much. Like, dude, shut up and play football. Enjoy college.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was your sophomore year. You were playing.
It was my redshirt freshman year. I was a special teams guy. And what happened after that? Marvin Sanders came in as a defensive coordinator. I don't know if he was my freshman year. I can't remember. I don't think he was. He might have been, but my redshirt sophomore year was the year that I started playing. I looked at my stats randomly. They came up on something a week ago. I was like, oh, damn, that was actually, I think I had 30 or 40 tackles my sophomore year.
Yeah, you had a bunch of tackles.
And then junior year, we'll get to that. But Marvin Sanders was our D coordinator. He came in from Nebraska, and he really turned our defense from like one in the teens, 116, 113, whatever it was, to top 30 defense.
Yeah.
And I was a nickel guy, playing good football. And that whole year, I was playing well, starting to show some promise, and then especially in the nickel package. Larry Edwards was another linebacker we had that was a stud. Like, how he didn't have a great NFL career, I don't know. But it was starting to happen. I mean, we're playing Brady Quinn and at Notre Dame and that old team. I think they went on to.
They were really good.
Pretty good bowl games. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
But I was competing, and I was actually, you know, turning into the player that they wanted me to be. And then a whole coaching staff got fired. And that was Bunning, Sanders, all those guys. But that's when Butch Davis came into the picture. And that's when it was like, oh, this just got real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Butch, I grew up a Gator fan.
Yeah.
So I naturally watched the Gators and Canes early 2000s when the Canes just turned it on. And that was that team. Sean Taylor, Reed, Ed Reed.
Yeah, they had.
Vilma was on that team, John Vilma. I remember the 2 tackles against Nebraska in the national title. They were like,
Yeah.
I was watching those tapes. I had Vilma on my wall in high school. Like that.
I played with Clinton Portis.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clinton Portis, the running back on that team.
Well, I remember Clint Portis. So Clinton and I met at a random bowl game in Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't know why he was there. He might have been playing for the Panthers or doing a TV deal or whatever. And I actually got his number for a while. We just randomly texted for a while. And I just remember thinking, like, this is crazy. I'm texting Clinton Portis. Because I loved that Miami football team.
They were
Awesome.
Yeah. They were awesome.
That to me is one of the better college teams that's ever existed.
Yeah. How did it flip with Butch? Like, what did he do different than the previous staff?
Everything was positive, first of all. Like, it was just such a decline under Bunning towards the end of it, where just nobody respected the coaches. Nobody was reacting to anything the coaches were saying. Butch Davis comes in. I don't know if the other players had the respect for Butch that I did, because most of them probably were thinking, Browns.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking Hurricanes. So when he walked into the room, I remember the team meeting room, first day he walks in, I'm just like, holy shit, this is real. Butch Davis is our head coach. Like, this just got real. We knew recruiting right away turned around.
Would go.
We had a top 10, top 5 recruiting class as soon as Butch got there. And so I think everybody just knew the standard as soon as he walked in the building, like, this is the standard now.
Standards went up. Yeah. I think that's like, it's like a lot of times people ask about certain teams and coaches, and I just think it's you hold people accountable to a standard.
Yeah.
It's a different, it's not a rule. It's a standard.
Yeah. And it's like this, anything below this is not going to be, it's cool. You can be a part of it, but you're never going to see the field ever. Because we just knew. So going into my junior year was following the solid sophomore year. And Chuck, the biggest part about Butch Davis is great and all, Chuck Pagano was our D coordinator. Yeah. And John Blake was our D-line coach. He was a recruiting genius. A lot of other teams hated John Blake because there's shady stuff going on. Like, I think we got busted for it. I had no idea. But I never got paid. Apparently, I wasn't good enough to get paid. But, man, it was Chuck Pagano that changed my whole – you talked about one coach earlier. It'd be Chuck Pagano. He came in. The systems were set up, like, just the 11-on-11 system that we had was like set up to win. It wasn't so complicated.
Right.
Coach P was so positive in practice. And it wasn't, it just like coaches beat players down. Looking back, there's so many bad coaches.
Yeah.
And especially pros, I'm sure. I never got there, but college sports, it matters a lot. Because these kids don't know what they're doing yet. They can be praised, but they're not.
They can be paid all the NIL money in the world,
they're
but
still not grown-ups yet.
Yeah, they're still not grown-ups.
But you still got to have a great coach to help, and Coach P was that for us. The system was good. The players were in the right positions. Like they moved me from a Will linebacker and put Larry over at Will, moved me to the Sam linebacker. To me, I was like, what? But I get up to 230 and just hold the edge and let the other, Larry was more athletic. Bruce Carter was more athletic. Like, let these guys run around and you do your thing holding up.
Yeah.
And I loved that. Go in and be the wrecking ball and let the athletes do their thing. And I was athletic, but I wasn't that athletic.
Yeah.
These guys were freaks. So I remember, for example, one play we were playing Utah that year, gearing up for Utah. It must have been early in the season because I only played one game under Coach P because I got hurt first game of the season. But we're gearing up for Utah or some option team, or maybe we were preparing for the option from James Madison, or it must have been because that's who we played. When I got hurt, but something happens, option all to my side, and all of a sudden I'm out there just like, oh, it's me, it's a pitch guy, and it's like another pitch guy or somebody to block me, and I'm just like, what am I supposed to do in this scenario? Like, I'm just like, I turned to him, I'm like, who's got him? And the play was over, and Coach P's like running up, all fired up, just like blowing the whistle, plays dead. I turned to him, I'm like, who's got him? He looks at me. You think like coaches, they got the answers.
Yeah.
He says, I got no an idea, Chase. And that's when it was just like, man,
They're just they're just humans.
Yeah.
They're just humans.
He didn't know, and he just said it. And I just started laughing. I was like, good, because I'm used to getting yelled at in this scenario. You like, I think coaches are really good about making players scared to play football.
Yeah.
And the bad coaches are. And you just can't win that way.
Yeah.
You cannot win that way. And that's what I was used to. And Coach B changed that.
You talk about positivity. I love that. I mean, you know my vibe. That's my vibe. And I've always thought, like, we hung out a lot, and like you're always super positive. Like I would put you in the positive category.
Because in my head sometimes it's not that way. But yeah,
that's just the mental demons. Yeah, you gotta let the fear go away. But like I would put you in the because look, I'll move kind of transition because then you got injured, and that positivity, like how it served you so well because you've been able to take, you just completely pivoted from being an athlete. That's your identity.
Yeah.
So you're pivoting being a musician.
That was a slow transition for sure.
But you have to be super positive through that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, talk a little bit about that transition and how that happened.
I remember. So the injury happens against James Madison. I'm finally the guy. Like every package we have on defense, I'm the only player on the defense that didn't come out.
Yeah, you're the guy.
I was the guy that like managed everything. I was playing unbelievable football. Like at that point, I look back, I'm like, was I good enough to make it to the next level? Not a question.
Yeah.
I would have had to step up on special teams more than I was.
Oh, David Thornton said you were the man.
David Thornton.
Yeah,
he was a big part of Carolina for me. He actually recruited me hard at Carolina.
TT says he was the guy.
The walk-on that never should have made it that became this unbelievable star.
Yeah.
I think he led tackles in the NFL a couple years.
Yeah.
But man, it was just, I was the guy. And it sucks still looking back, like, I'll never know. And I know where I'm at now, and I'm happy with how it ended up. But it's still, I could have played, and I was playing great football. I just wish I could have seen what happened that year.
Yeah.
I'll never know. It's funny, in my junior year, I looked at the stats last week, and it was 30, 40 tackles, and it was 1. I actually had like 7 or 8 tackles in that game.
Yeah.
And everyone against, who was a running back?
They had a really good running back, James Madison.
Madison. Yeah. They were a good team that year. And we beat up on them pretty good, but in 7 or 8 of those plays, there was a penalty. So I only got credited for 1 tackle that whole year, which didn't matter. But yeah, there was one play I look back on, I'm like, if I'd have just been better, maybe I would have never got hurt, which is, you can't really look at it like that, but throws the ball to me, all of a sudden I'm covering, I'm coming across, looking at the zone or whatever, and I look up and the ball's like coming right at me. Last second, I try to catch it, hits my face mask, bounces off, we get the interception, can't remember who picked it, but takes it back to like the 2, and then we score. But like, I'm like, if I'd have just caught it right there and went down, the whole game would have been different. But hindsight. But I hit the quarterback, and my ankle, as soon as it popped, I thought it was broken. You just know when something like that, you're like, all right, I'm done. Go get x-rays at halftime. And there's a picture of me somewhere, like I'm just like this on the sideline, just like, it's just all the work you've ever done.
Yeah,
it's gone.
It's gone.
But the lady comes around, gets x-rays, and she gives me a big thumbs up, and I'm just like, that's not right. Like, something's real bad about this thing. So it's not broken. In the shower after the game, I start putting pressure on it, just trying to see what's up with it. And this whole tendon snaps to the front of my foot.
Oh man.
Just the sheath and all that, the tendon was ripped. And so that's when they knew, and they just took my foot, popped it down. And that's when, a few days later I was in surgery. But I remember my mindset was, all right.
Yeah. Injuries happen.
Get ready. Get back.
Yeah.
And so I got really big over that season. What I look back on and I didn't do a good job of was the guy that took over for me was Bruce Carter, ended up being a 2nd-round pick to the Cowboys. If I'm that good of a team leader, and the guy that never comes out of the game, like, I should have been in meetings every day. And I thought about myself. I thought about, how do I get back? How do I not lose my job to Bruce? Because Bruce was struggling. He was a freshman.
Right.
I didn't do a good enough job of taking him under my wing to make him the best player he could be so we could win games that year.
Yeah.
And that's a regret that I have, but you can't change it now. But I learned from that, and that's even gone into music. Like nowadays, I don't even look at younger artists and like, how do I make them go away so I can be better and more popular and more famous and all that? If you have the mindset of help everybody, dude, everything frees up.
Yeah.
Everything about you is better, and everything about everybody around you is better. And that's what I learned through that process, which is huge to learn.
Yeah.
But I was jealous. I was a jealous player. I was jealous that I didn't get my shot. Bruce ended up becoming a solid player that year, and then the next year he took my job and ran with it.
Well, look, it's lonely. I mean, there's so many athletes out there that have injuries. My son's dealing with it right now. He just had ACL surgery, and I dealt with it. And I do think being an athlete, that's like, it's got to be on your resume. Like injuries are going to be on your resume. I don't care who you are.
That's what I really like it.
And so it's really how you deal with it. So, and you have such an amazing story and to me, like recreating yourself, which is what you did, is a lot of people don't have the fortitude or really the discipline to be able to do that. I'd love to kind of dive into that and go like, all of a sudden you're the guy who doesn't come off the field. Yeah. You get injured. You pick up a guitar.
Yeah.
And then look, you have turned this, you've been doing this 15 plus years.
15 years now. Yeah.
It's amazing that you've built a career out of this. And so just think back to these college kids right now, and right now one of them might be injured listening to this. And it's like, man, you said it was a slow process. I'd love to kind of unpack that. I go like, what happened? Was there somebody in your life? What really went through there?
Well, the number one thing I'd say to button kind of what we're talking about, like if you think about yourself, I obviously get yourself back to being the best you can be.
Right.
But like, if there's one thing I could do over, I would have taken Bruce under my wing. I would have been in film watching with him and made him even better. That would have made me better. Yeah. Because I would have learned stuff.
Yeah.
And then him and I wouldn't have had tension the next year when all of a sudden he takes my job. And it's like, I would have been there for him. And that's the one thing I would say, if you get hurt, make yourself better, heal yourself up. But the number one thing I should have done that year, I was lonely. I was by myself working out a lot.
It is lonely. Yeah.
The one thing that wouldn't have made it lonely is if I would have gotten back into the film room with the team and been there every single day, I would have been back being a part of the team. I took myself out of the team.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do that. And that's the one thing I'd say. Go watch film, be with your teammates every single day. Because that's going to make your mental stability there and better. And you're just going to be better. And I wish I'd have done that. So I learned that from that lesson. But so through that year, I also learned to start playing guitar.
You're self-taught?
YouTube. Yeah.
YouTube. Yes, self-taught.
I kind of fiddled with it the year before. Ben Lemming, an offensive lineman, had a guitar and he would play it and he'd show me some chords. But then I just got on YouTube, especially the year I was hurt. That's when I was really getting after it on YouTube because what the hell else do you do?
Right.
Rehab and play guitar. So I'm just loving playing guitar at this point.
Yeah.
Hating seeing what's happening with the team. We were solid. I think we won 8 games that year or something. But I had nothing to do with it. So I'm like, whatever. I didn't care. I was so selfish. Yeah. But I learned to play guitar that year and then rehab. And I'm like, all I'm thinking about is I don't want to win games. I don't want to do that. I want my job back, which is, there's some health in that, but overall I was very selfish looking back, but it's fine. You live and learn. I was 22 years old. And then May comes around, you're getting ready for the season. That's when my dad died. So I get the call from my mom. She said, Chase, come home, dad died. And I'm just like, your whole world stops at that point. Yeah. And going into that season, I wanted to do so good for him. And it couldn't have gone a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
I just put so much pressure on myself. Not to mention, looking back, Quan Sturdivant, draft pick, Bruce Carter, second round pick, Zach Brown, first round pick.
Yeah, you had
those are the guys that were coming up behind us. And Mark Pascal, who ended up taking my job as the lone white guy on the defense, ended up having an all ACC year.
Yeah.
So it's like the guy stepped up.
Yeah.
And I did nothing but try to get in the way of that. But the year went horrible. I'm miserable. All I want to do is go home and I wrote a song about my dad. That was how it got me into songwriting.
What song was it?
It's called Larger Than Life. It was on a first record, and it was cool. Yeah, I mean, looking back, it's the first song to write. And it was based off the chords that I learned from the guys that I learned from, which was like Eric Church was coming up. I learned he's a simple writer. Like, he doesn't complicate things with his guitar playing. So I learned a lot from him. Chesney, I was learning Chesney songs, old Tennessee boy.
Good ball.
Yep. Garth Brooks was a guy that I loved. George Strait, I loved growing up on. So I was just having fun doing that. That was the only thing at that point that was making me happy.
Gotcha.
Because football was falling apart.
Yeah, football's falling apart. You lost your girlfriend.
Girlfriend was gone.
Girlfriend was gone.
At that point, she was long gone. It was just, man, it was a bad time in my life. But looking back, it's like, it got me. Yeah. It was just part of it. There's no avoiding that. I mean, losing football, losing my dad all in the same 2 years.
Wait, pause right there.
Yeah.
So you and then you go straight to NASCAR. You were in the pit crew, right?
So I got a call from, it was Chris Berkey, who was the head of the Hendrick Motorsports athlete program. They were bringing in athletes to try to see if they could pit faster, which is really smart. But that was the beginning of that. A couple teams had tested it, but they never had a full team so we were 9 guys together. I got a call, NFL wasn't working out. And I trained for pro day and all that and had a pro day.
What'd you run? Do you remember? Everybody
40 was like in the 4.5s, so it wasn't like stellar. But the NFL drill, back and forth, whatever.
L drill or the shuttle?
The shuttle.
The pro show.
Me and Akeem Nicks tied for the 2 fastest times. Like, I was a baller at that drill because we did it in high school.
What was your vert?
37.5, so it was solid.
That's really good.
Yeah. I mean, I had an unbelievable pro day, like Steelers, Giants.
You can dunk?
Dude, in high school, I could get rim to right here. Now I can get it right. I've lost a foot in my vertical. That's
with the torn hammy.
Yeah, I'm pathetic now. Get to that later, I guess. But I could dunk easily in high school and college. But so that just didn't work out. Like, I had a bad agent, and it's about who you know. And my agent didn't give it. I should have gotten a tryout on the team, and I just never did. Just based off my pro day alone.
Yeah,
like I balled out. But then Chris Berkey saw that all unfold. He was like, "It's not getting a call at all." So he called me and said, "Hey man, I'm at Hendrick Motorsports. We'd be interested in bringing it in." I was like, "Talking about like Dale Jr. Hendrick Motorsports?"
Did you know anything about NASCAR?
Oh yeah, I grew up loving it.
Grew up loving it. Yeah,
because in Daytona was where I was born until I was 11.
Yeah,
we'd go to the track all the time. My dad raced, so he didn't race NASCAR, but he raced IMSA in the endurance races.
Yeah,
and so I grew up around racing, and then he calls me, Dale Jr., Hendrick Motorsports, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, all those guys. I'm like, yeah, sign me up.
Yeah.
I got nothing on my plate. Like, football's not calling. I don't know what I'm going to do, coach, because he coached me when I was a freshman at Carolina. He was in charge of putting this team together at Hendrick. So I went down, tried out for that, immediately got on the team. But it was like finally I was away from Chapel Hill. I was still writing songs, but that wasn't reality. Like,
that was like, was that just like a release? That was just like, creative out,
And the miserable senior year that I'd had carried over into Charlotte and NASCAR. So I got there. It was like I had the same mentality that I did my senior year. Like, I outcast myself from the team. All the guys are going out having fun.
Yeah.
And it was really the first time in my life, second time because the year I was not part of the team, but it was the first time in my life nobody liked me. So I was just the guy that nobody liked. And it was my doing. Like, I wouldn't hang with the guys. I'd go back, I'd write songs. I was pretty miserable. We lived in a hotel.
Yeah.
They put us up because it was a test run. Like, the first job I had was that one out of college, and it was $17,500 a year. So you're not crushing. And all my buddies are drafted in the NFL, and I'm making $17,000 a year. So we're doing it. Similar situation my freshman year of college, where it's like Nick Covey hated me because he was my roommate, and all I was doing was writing songs, and something shifted. I started giving in and hanging with the boys, and we started going out a little bit around Charlotte area. And that was when it all came to life, where like I was like, now I finally got some buddies. This was months and months into the mix in Charlotte. And I started doing open mic nights on songs that I'd written, cover songs, but the pit crew guys would come and support me. RJ Barnett, I just saw him that's Sunday at the NASCAR race. I did the pit car, or the pace car. He came up, said hi. Chris Berkey and I got a picture together. He's like shaking my hand as I'm in the pace car. It was really cool to see full circle. Matt Terrell was there. Just some guys I hadn't seen in a long time. They're still working in it. But that was huge for me, for them to start like supporting me and coming to open mic nights, because I finally started having fun again and and it was based around making music. Long story short, I go on Survivor because they call me and they're like, would you want to do this? I'm like, yes, this gives me an out in NASCAR. I like the boys, but I'm still not like all in on this. I want to move to Nashville and do music.
Yeah.
So that gave me an out to probably go do the show, make a little money. If I win, I win $1 million.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go on as the singer guy, because first of all, it wasn't my profession yet. Second of all, I'd seen that on other reality TV shows. I'm just like, I don't want to be that. So I went on as a NASCAR guy, like the guy sitting around the fire singing. And funny thing is, they did ask me to sing on the final episode, so I did. And then that album, which I'd put out, that I recorded in Carolina, just low budget thing, I think was #1 on the charts that night, which was not a good record to represent my work, because it wasn't great. But it was a wild time in my life, man. It was just so fast. And I got in a fight at Martinsville Speedway against one of our pit crew guys. I hit him in the face, but I half hit him, like I barely even popped him. I was just reactionary.
Oh, God.
And I got suspended for 2 weeks from NASCAR. And that's when I went to Nashville for the first time. Brian Kelly and Tyler Hubbard living in a house, Florida Georgia line. And that was the first time I visited. And we went to Tin Roof, did the whole thing. And that's when I fell in love with Nashville. And that's Survivor called after that. And that was when I was like, yes, this gives me an out. Go make a little money. As soon as I get back, I'm going to Nashville full time.
Dude, and that's what happened. That's crazy. What I love about it is, and I think people out there want to know, like, hey, how do you, and you just put yourself out there. Like, you tried a bunch of things. I mean, you were a football player, then you went to NASCAR, then you did Survivor, writing, all while writing music. I mean, it's inspiring, because I think there are a lot of people that just would rather sit back instead of.
I've never had the mindset that I'm out.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of especially in music, like, the good thing about music is I can do this till I'm 60.
Yeah.
I mean, straight still doing it.
A little longer.
Right. You can go as long.
Modern medicine.
Good training.
Good training at D1, man. You might be around a lot longer.
I need to be in better shape in my 40s than I was in my 30s, for sure.
There we go. Yeah.
But I never had the mindset that I was out. Football, get hurt, and I was like, oh, I'm fine. It didn't work out that way,
Yeah.
I didn't come back and get my starting job back and have that story that, I wanted of going to the NFL.
Yeah.
But then it was just like, all right, on to the next.
Yeah.
Music was the next, or NASCAR was, but with music. And I had that plan with Survivor, using Survivor basically as my out of NASCAR, moving to Nashville and right. And it was like, all right, that happened. And then it was just like, me and Brian and Tyler started writing good songs right away. They taught me a lot about songwriting, which is why early on in my career it was very bro country, which was an era that people loved on in country music. It's like, I don't know, what the did you expect? I moved in with the Florida Georgia Line guys, and we were writing songs that made us happy.
Yeah.
And we had a fucking blast doing it. And so,
You wrote some good ones.
man, it was just a fun time. We partied our absolute asses off and wrote about that. That's why all those were such party songs, because we were writing about what our lives were. And even still, like, having that mindset of like, the last 6 years, I haven't had a song on the radio, maybe 5 years or whatever. And I left my label, Broken Bow. I've just never had the mindset of I'm going to be done with this thing because my last 2 records were really good. That was when which makes sense because that's 10, 12 years in.
Yeah.
I'm finally actually good at it at that point.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to get good at something.
Yeah.
I Hate Cowboys was when that started for me because I had success with the other stuff, the Eyes on You, drinking beer, cruise with the guys. But I was just along for the ride figuring it out. Yeah. Cowboys, I realized the formula, which for me to make my best music was write it on a guitar. Don't stop at the tracks. That's not my deal. I'm not a pod guy. Like I can't get great at that. I know I can get great at this.
Yeah.
And so writing songs on a guitar, writing songs that are real to me, stop trying to chase the bullshit of whatever people are writing about. Come up with your own stories. And then the Go Down Singing record was another level up from that. The Eldora record that comes out in September, it's like all those years of everything you just heard about led to this record that we're about to put out. And that's my mindset. Any of those don't fucking matter anymore. This is the record that matters the most. Get better. And this is the best music I've ever done in my life. And I can already tell you the next one's going to be better than that because I'm getting better.
Yeah.
And that's the mindset. It was just like,
so
this thing.
Do you have like someone in music? And we're talking music because you talked about Chuck Pagano, which I love.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Talked about Jeff Connors, great strength coach. Do you ever have somebody in music that's like mentored you or coached you or like somebody, it might not be music, but just life. I'm just more thinking this podcast is a lot about, coaches in our lives and how we need those types of people to help us get to the next level. And you've really broken to this next level that you just talked about in country music. Somebody out there that
now I do. I would say it came in a weird way. Oscar Charles is my producer now, and he's my age or younger, which is come in a weird way. Like I don't have an older person that's like guided me through to something. For me, when I found Oscar to like really understand what I want to do, because I was a big fan of Eric Church and Jay Joyce and what they built, but Jay and I actually worked together on some songs, which was awesome. But I've wanted to create my own thing since I got into this, and I've done nothing but the opposite. Like I was just FGL Junior for like 8 years. Sam Hunt pops off. I'm like, oh shit, I want to do that. Now like, there's nothing that comes out where I'm like, that's bad. Let's try that.
Hey, you want to be you.
I can be a fan of it. Like I love I like Morgan. I like Zach's Brian's stuff too. It's like they're almost two different genres. But I've never once thought, what can we do to get a piece of what they're doing? And that's where the old mindset of the football thing, where I learned, like, stop doing that shit.
Yeah.
Do not
just
try
get really good at this.
Yeah. Figure out what I'm great at. And that's what me and Oscar has been for me, figuring out and making me the best that I can be. Like, there's not too many producers in the world. Eldora was all one takes. That's the album that comes out later this year. That's all one takes. Me and a guitar, no headphones, no click, me singing. We figured out while we were writing the songs and work tapes in Colorado, if it's just me singing into a phone with a guitar, it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Because Oscar was like, I believe you, dude.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. Into 2 microphones.
That's awesome.
Did 5 or 6, 10 of the song, and when we got the take, then we built on the drums, then we built on the bass and other instruments. And there's not too many guys that would suggest recording a record that way. And Oscar's never done that. He's never recorded one that way. So I was his test dummy. And he did the Cowboys and the Go Down Singing record. But he is the guy now that's like helping me be better. I'm helping him be better, and we're making each other. He's the Pagano for me right now, for sure.
Well, man, that's what this place is all about, is having coaches in your life pour into you and help you find out who you are and then reach new levels. As an older guy, since you watched me play back in the days, yeah. And as you're entering into your 40s, you know, what I look back and go, man, when I was turning 40, I thought I was like so old and I was done. And now I'm like, man, I'm just getting going. Like, what are you looking forward to as you go into your 40s? Not just from a training perspective, just life in general.
Well, I've started it already, which is good. Like I'm in a good place right now where a lot of times you're like, I got to change a lot. I don't have to change a lot right now.
Yeah.
Which is a good feeling. I've partied really hard in my 30s, and now I'm at a place where I'm just not, that's not what I enjoy as much as I used to. Every now and then, let's go. But my body is feeling incredible through the day. I get this like natural high.
Yeah.
At like 2 p.m. That's just like those feel frees we were talking about. It's like that, but without taking a feel free. I'm just like happy.
Yeah.
Feeling good, walking around, the body's not as inflamed as much as it was. And that's just the start for me. Like, I want my 40s to be about, health and wealth are the two big things a lot of people talk about, but that's true. Like, I'm really focusing on money becoming a thing and becoming wealthy in life.
Yeah.
Not just rich, but like truly wealthy. And with that, healthy too. Because if you're going out getting hammered all the time, you're behind the 8 ball all the time.
Always. Yeah.
So.
Never catch up.
Right. So those two go together for me in my 40s, and I don't know what that's going to look like, but I'm going to be really healthy, and hopefully that'll turn to wealthy.
Man, doesn't work well for good, sad country songs, but.
I know. But my Eldora record is kind of like a pretty sad album.
Yeah.
The Appalachia record that's going to follow is going to be a celebration record.
Love a good celebration.
We're going to have a lot of that on Appalachia.
Celebration. Man, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time on the turf.